We are back again. We are, as you see on the shirt, let me get it right, The Real Nesters. I'm James.
I'm Crystal.
Yeah, we back with another review of Married at First Sight.
Season 12, episode 13.
Episode 13. How you do a 3? Oh, no, that might be gang size. So episode 13.
Unanswered question.
Unanswered question. It's 3 weeks before decision day.
3 weeks before decision
3 weeks
day.
Before decision day. Let's get into
guys,
it.
I got notes for like 5 years.
Yeah, we were having some internet issues, so we had to watch it on our phone. So we're going to use her notes for everything.
No, I ain't sharing.
Let's get into it.
I don't share. All right, so first, I'm just going to do this in the order that I have it. So I got Virginia and Eric.
Okay.
Your favorite puppy people.
Yeah.
They actually his favorite couple.
Yep,
He's rooting for them all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So unanswered questions was, the setting is Dr. Pepper come and talk to the ladies. Pastor Cal came and talked to the gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
And
I didn't even notice that. So he did all men.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically their quest was to provoke them to be more bold about asking the questions, get the answers they need to have for decision day. Like, you know, instead of just being like, oh, everything's okay. No, they want them to get into the arguments, know how to settle them and all that before decision day come. So in starting with Virginia and Eric, we know, well, her sister came to visit this episode to coach her on a little bit. We know that their biggest issues this season has been Eric having an issue with her dog, Eric being what do you want to say, aggressive or bossy.
You're like a father, trying to be like a father to her.
Versus a husband.
Yeah.
And also him very extremely worried about her going out activity.
Yeah, her party.
Which everybody agrees that he's right about that.
Yeah.
The other two, and as far as Virginia's issue is, of course, Eric being too bossy, and controlling her, and her wanting to go out and drink.
Yeah.
Her issue with him is just him wanting her to come home and say where she at, and where she gonna be.
And the other issue too was she wanted to have a neutral home. She didn't want to live with him.
She don't want to move into his
get
place.
A neutral house. Yeah.
So that's the issues for them. So then we're gonna go through what happened. So
but what did you say with who?
I'm still talking about Virginia.
Oh, okay. I was getting ready to say.
So I already told you guys her sister came and visit, and Virginia shared her issues with the sister. Yeah. Remember, the sister had the 2 sons.
Oh yeah.
Other thing, another big issue for Eric is children.
Yeah. He's
threatened her a couple of times that if there's no children, he's out.
Yeah, he talking about like within the next year or so.
Yeah, 2 at the max.
And she knows, but she's looking at, she still for some reason got the party girl thing stuck in her mind, like she wasn't ready for marriage. Because she still wants to be a party girl. Because she don't even see nothing wrong with, if I go out, I can just sleep over my guy's friend's house. If I can't make it home,
Hey, you ruined the bus line at the end, but go ahead.
Well, go
ahead.
So she still has a party girl mindset.
Yes.
That's the main issue that's wrong in this relationship. If you eliminate her party girl thing and his bossiness, they're perfect couple.
Well, yeah, she in the dog issue, like he done went from trying to control her to we gonna use this dog as a reason to have arguments.
He don't like that dog so much. That dog might all of a sudden get loose and
just tear him out.
No, I'm talking about he let the dog off the leash and let him run away.
So okay, so Virginia big issue with the kid thing is she basically confessed that her issue is she feels like her parents were so horrible, especially with them being divorced and getting remarried and stuff. She's afraid of being a bad parent herself. She shared that with I think she actually talked to Pastor Cal.
Who?
Virginia, now that I think about it.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
I think she did talk to Pastor Cal because I remember him asking.
It wasn't a boy, guy, girl thing.
It was until them though.
Yeah.
Because he asked her why would she think she was a bad parent.
Yeah.
And he told her to erase that out of her head.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So that and those two they did switch.
Because Eric talked to Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, right?
Yeah.
So Dr. Pepper, of course, they're about having solutions. So one of the things Dr. Pepper touched on with the dog with Eric was she asked him, "Why are you so aggressive about being a part of this dog's life?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Cause it's not her dog, it's our dog, it's a we and us thing." And Dr. Pepper was like, "Well, what if this was a real child? You wouldn't be able to do that." Yeah. And he said, "Yeah, that's true." And she said, "Okay, so this is her child. So you can't force yourself into the situation like that." Yeah. And then he was able to take a breath and say, "Okay, you're right. I need to back up some." Yeah. So I love the way that she put that to help him understand what everybody thought was. She choose the dog over him if he got to a certain point. And then she also said what was his other issue, and he said he was concerned about her partying. So what Dr. Pepper recommended was that he asks for 1 weekend a month of just for him and her. Not her hanging out with her friends.
Sober. She even said sober.
Well, that's the next step. Yeah. That was the next step. You know, and then she said, make decisions when you're not sober, because if you think about all the blow-ups you guys had, it's when your drinking was involved. Yeah, yeah. So you could tell by when they would be arguing and then how they talk. He talked slower. Mm-hmm. He talked slower. Okay, so all of that to say, after they had these conversations with the counselors, they came back and shared what their conversation was. Eric, if you're watching, I'm disappointed in you, brother. You lied. Because he went back and he said to Virginia, you know, hey, you know, Dr. Pepper said we should get I should be able to get a weekend a month. Yeah. You know, just us. And she was like, oh, okay, as long as it's in advance. Because I do all my planning in advance. Yeah. This man said to her, no, you should be, if your husband wants you to cancel with your friends, you need to tell your friends your husband's more important and you're going to cancel with them. That is not what Dr. Pepper told you. Lies, Eric, lies. Yeah. And he was real aggressive about it too. He's like, no, you need to cancel. And she's about to fall apart crying. Yeah. Then, after that, that's happened. Then she said, he said about the no drinking. She got so upset. She said, I don't want to talk about it right now. She did a Chris. So these two, he still thinks they have a great chance of making it. You still do? They're the only ones that got a good chance in the long run. I'm telling you, they're the only one. The thing is, unless she gives him a baby right away, and I'm not saying it can't happen because I love that they have like a show called Couples Couch. I think it comes on either before or after the show, where they're showing all the other couples and what they went through. And you know, some of the couples were dead set against having a baby within a year or two, and they're doing it now. So you can't say anything is impossible, but I feel like unless she gives him a baby, and he told, you know, she was saying to him, you stress so much about the baby, I'm concerned. And he was like, well, if for any reason you can't like physically have a baby or something, I'm not going to just up and leave you. That's what it is. But to be honest, this man is obsessed with children. He wants to have kids. And unless that lady changes her mind, and can she stop drinking for 9 months? Like when we was talking yesterday, we was looking at like some of their issues and pointing out like some of the concerns. So the reason why is they don't want to do certain things. So maybe her issue about not having a baby too is because she don't want to stop drinking for 9 months and stop partying for 9 months. I forgot about that. You know what I mean? Because that could be the real issue, and everybody's overlooking it. Next up. So next up is our wonderful Brianna and Vincent, baby. Okay, you guys. So these couples, this couple is super lovey-dovey, but
Can you pay my
They
bills?
were already
Can
talking, and they did a budget. They sit down to do a budget. And they put it on a big computer screen. You guys.
TV, they streamed it to the TV.
You guys. $9,000 they came up with.
What you mean? What's that?
A month.
What's that
budget? The monthly budget.
So you saying
$9,000.
When they added up their bills, you saying they had $9,000.
The number on the screen was 9,000 and change
of expenses.
Yes. And
I still. Yeah, they didn't show it. They showed it real quick. I know.
And the rent for their rent was $1,700. But Brianna had mentioned a couple of things: $350 for her braids once a month.
It's like another $400
for, I guess, spa treatments or something similar to taking care of yourself as a woman. That she mentioned.
She must have 2 cars. They both must have 2 cars or something.
No. He said his car maintenance was cheap. She said hers was expensive. And this is the kind of the little sneak peek of the conversation as they're calculating the numbers.
Yeah.
It was very stressful for her. At first she was fine, but she could tell that Vincent's face was not into it, okay? Vincent was not happy with Brianna and her numbers. Because he's at the point where he wants to save and have kids and, look at things. And Brianna's like, no, we still got a date. So he's like, we can have a $200 budget. She was like, well, every dinner doesn't have to be $200, but we need more than a $200 a month budget.
No. First she said $200. That's just one dinner.
Yeah. That's what she said.
She said $200. That's just one dinner.
So yeah,
I don't know where she going to spend $200 for dinner. And she probably was, because she used to be single, so she probably spent that on her own.
Yeah, so she was really stressed out about that. So we found
in Atlanta,
we've been finding that with them two, I didn't do a little overall synopsis like I did with the previous couple, which is their overall issue we've been finding is communication. Right. Point blank simple across the board, between both of them. Mm-hmm. Communication is this couple's issue. And I don't even think it's culture wise. People was expecting it culture wise. I don't think it's about their culture. I think it's about he's a bit more sensitive, I think, than people expected him to be. And with her, she works a man's job. She talked, she said in the beginning, she wears a hard hat to work every day. So she's used to being around men and talking, very assertively, I guess you want to say. Yeah. Where it sounds like that's not his thing. So just that right there was the biggest issue, communication with them. And now I would say finances is going to be number 2. And between those two, that could make or break a marriage.
But what I'm saying, they're going to make it through a decision day, but in the long run, that's going to be an issue. And the other big issue is she don't want to have no kids.
Oh, I was getting to that.
She don't want to have no kids.
So in their conversations, Vincent talked to Pastor Cal, and he was concerned with Brianna likes to get up early every day, and she wants Vincent up when she's up. And, Pastor Cal was like, well, what's the issue? Like, what's her issue with you sleeping in? And Vincent said, well, I think she thinks I'm being lazy. He was like, but I'm tired. I drive, I do this, I do that. So Pastor Cal was like, basically ask her what's the issue with it, and like basically make a compromise. That was one thing.
Yeah,
and then
they're going to have a lot of issues.
He said he admitted that he has a short attention span with her. Yeah. So a lot of times, I guess when she's talking, he kind of fades off and not catch everything she's talking about.
Yeah. Trying to fit my glasses.
I'm watching you, babe. They both do bring love to the relationship. That's what Vincent said. He feels very loved by her and things like that. And Vincent let the cat out the bag that he wants 4, not 1, not 2, but 4 children.
He gonna be lucky to get 1 out of her.
Well, now let's roll into the communication, the conversation.
That's gonna be by accident.
So the conversation that Brianna had with Dr. Pepper was, of course, financial stability and communication. So they are pretty clear. They're pretty clear about what their issues are and what they need to work on, and that's a good thing.
Long run, nah.
So when they got together to have their conversation, when Vincent brought up the sleeping thing, and he said, well, let's both make a compromise, she was real clear that she ain't the one who needed to be making the compromise, that he was. That he needed to cut his phone off. Come on, babe, you remember this part. You was like, no, she didn't. Cut his phone off early.
No, go to bed early.
Yeah.
And then don't be looking at your phone when you're in bed.
Yep.
And then get up early with her.
Yes. So he's confused about, so this is where things started to take a downfall from that statement.
And this was after the finance thing.
Yes.
He getting hit with all the haymakers.
So they talked about.
Then he said, well, what you gonna do?
Yeah, he asked her what she
you gonna do.
And she didn't answer
what
that.
You gonna
she avoided
do?
that conversation.
You don't even want to cut back on the bills.
So Dr. Pepper told her to ask Vincent what do money mean to him, and of course he said stability. He told her about the kids and things. So that led into the conversation of she shared with him the reason why she doesn't want to have kids is because she already has high blood pressure. And having a child could take a toll on her body, and she's afraid of what that was going to mean and what that was going to look like for her.
Yeah.
And that messed Vincent up. So they did a little mini interview in there, and he says, he think about retiring all the time, and he cannot picture himself being on his deathbed without kids.
Yeah.
So after the communication thing, the money thing, the kids thing, like, I love this couple. I think they could work through anything, but Brianna is going to have to do something more compromising. Like, financially, I get that she make a lot of money, but then maybe y'all spend your check and save all of his money. There still could be some kind of compromise. You know what I mean?
Because what's going to happen is something else come by, like the pandemic, and she lose her job.
Right.
And she don't have that income coming in.
Right.
She going to really go crazy then.
Our next beautiful couple, Paige and Chris.
Paige and Chris.
You guys, we
couple,
still should not be saying those two names together.
You said them together. I didn't say. First we have Paige, and then we have Chris.
Paige and Chris. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So we're going to start with Paige because ladies are first.
Ladies first.
Paige.
Ladies first.
Talked to Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And the one thing I did love about this, because they didn't do a whole bunch of previews of her. They did a after with her of her packing to leave the apartment.
Yeah.
But Dr. Pepper apologized to her for them connecting her with Chris. I love that because out of all the seasons, out of all the bad relationships, this one is the worst.
But he even said it.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper agrees with me and probably 95% of the internet that Chris is a narcissist.
Yeah.
She said it, straight up said it. And she admit that she don't usually talk about people and call people out her name. And they don't. But she said it is what it is. Yeah. Narcissist. But what I wanted to share with you guys, couldn't wait to do this video. Did y'all see Paige's face when Dr. Pepper was talking about Chris? For those of you who watched this, it was almost like she did not like it. As if she was still his wife defending him. That's what her face said to me. Her face did not say, I agree with you. She was like, to me, trying to play along. So I don't know what the deal is with Paige. She keeps having moments where we're rooting for her, where we feel like she has clarity over the situation. But her face, when Dr. Pepper was talking about Chris, says that Paige still has feelings for Chris. Maybe even in love. You said it. I didn't want to face it. But maybe she is in love with Chris because she was upset about that.
She gonna be a side chick forever. She gonna be a side chick, but the wife. That's like one of them B movies. Yeah, you the wife, but you really the side chick because you're spending more time with the side chick. Oh man.
Then Dr. Pepper asked her like, what was the whole point of Chris having her meet with the fiance, and then they went through all that. I loved it. These counselors don't play with them, okay? They cut straight through the stuff.
No chaser.
But everybody sympathetic towards Paige because how she was treated. But the reality of it is, you hooked up a narcissist with low self-esteem, maybe. Mm-hmm. I might not be dressing the right word. I'll find it later.
You done got pulled out the fire 3 times, but yet you still want to run back into the house.
What they call them people that fall in love with the abusers?
Stockholm.
Yeah, she got some real issues going on with her, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you fall in love with the abductor.
It was real clear last night. If y'all have not watched that, I don't even know if you can find that one part and put her face in here, and pause it just a little bit and put that facial expression she had
like right
when
here?
When Dr. Pepper was talking to him. So anyway, Paige. On to Chris. So they sent Pastor Cal in because I think the ladies are too through with Chris. I do not believe. Dr. Pepper didn't meet with him at all, but Dr. Viviana had met with him, and she was very, very. She even told him, you disappoint me. You're not the person who we met."
That's the same thing Pastor Cal said.
Yes.
You're not the same person that we went through the interview process with.
You're right.
He changed up.
So, first of all, Chris, you're disrespectful, and when anybody see him in Atlanta, throw something at him. Mm-hmm. He shows up 45 minutes late to talk to Pastor Carol. How disrespectful can you be? But I guess this coming from the man who said he was no longer going to talk to his own pastor because he went to console Paige, I guess is what you got to expect.
Yeah.
So, you want to tell the part about the face? When Pastor Cal asked what was the real issue.
Pastor Cal asked Chris.
He just disappointed. He just so disappointed.
He said, "Well, what did you like about what wasn't attractive about her? What did you like?" He said, "Oh, the physicality was fine. I liked the body. I love the body. But as soon as I saw her, it was the face. It was the face.
And then he chuckles.
The face wasn't attractive. But yet he knew this right out the gate, standing up there. But yet." He could go have multiple sets with her. And he gonna go through all that. Well, he knew right out the gate. And no, then he gonna say, "I'm in Atlanta. I've got a choice of thousands of beautiful women in Atlanta. You know, and if I had calling
out different nationalities,
and if I had to choose, you know, it wouldn't have been her. You know, I'm in Atlanta."
He blamed them.
Yeah.
He said, y'all
he said,
could have chose.
Yeah, so basically he was saying out of all these beautiful women in Atlanta.
He said, y'all go choose the one that I would not date.
Yeah.
The one I'm not attracted to.
If I was out somewhere and I saw her, I wouldn't even approach her.
And Pastor Cal was still trying to be pretty decent, so he said to him,
every time he takes his glasses off, that's him slapping him.
Well, and then he was like massaging it. Yeah. He was doing that like the whole time.
Every time he do that, that's the equivalent of a regular guy slapping him.
So Pastor Cal was trying to be still human with him, and he says, "Well, Chris, you let the attraction grow." He said, "I tried," and well, after that, Pastor Cal was pretty much checked out.
Yeah.
He said, "Man, you did not honestly try." Chris. So once Pastor Cal said that to him, Chris was done. Y'all know he shut down and shut you out real quick when you don't agree with him.
Here go Chris. Here go either. Well, I don't really see where this conversation is going.
Yeah. Pastor Cal had made the comment like, "You didn't respect her, you owe her apology." He was like, "No, I don't." And then Pastor Cal said, "Man, you bought your ex Mercedes while you with her." He said, "I told her she could have came along."
Yeah.
He said, "While you married to your wife," he said, "I told her she could have come along. It wasn't no big deal to me." And then he said, he's buying Mercedes a house next.
He said, "Yeah, my prince needs a house. My prince needs a house."
So Pastor Cal asked him, and this was the best thing anybody has said to him so far, "What's up with the impulsive decisions?"
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is. That's if he's telling the truth. Somebody find Mercedes, Google her, message her, inbox her.
Somebody know her.
Mercedes, is he really buying you this stuff? Because the word on the street is that the brother's broke, really. So you guys,
Is she from Atlanta?
I don't think so. He flew somewhere else to go meet with her.
He flew somewhere else.
So you guys, that non-couple, we're done with them.
Done with them.
So
Let's move on to the next.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Next up,
Claire and Ryan.
Yes, sir.
So you guys, if I've never seen a couple have no, I'm lying, because Haley and Jacob got two different things of what's going on too. But Ryan, like when I tell you guys this show turns and turns, it's like it's like in bingo or something where they kind of just keep mixing the balls,
ping pong.
You don't know what's going to come out. So they show Ryan and Claire together, and as most of you probably should know, the biggest issues that this couple was supposed to have was religion.
Mm-hmm.
She loves everybody, he loves nobody. And then throughout the season, him not wanting to have actual intercourse with her. So that's been this couple's 4 issues. And, you know, if we probably should put a survey up about, most people say this all the time, what's the top 5 issues that couples, that could separate a couple, right? Yeah. And it sounds like they got 4 of them.
Money, number 1. You already know that.
That would be the 5th one, but not having sex. No, I'm saying not in any order. But out of the top 5
money,
in general,
sex, cheating,
money, that's the only thing they don't have an issue with. But they have an issue with religion. They have an issue with I just said them. Sex. They have an issue with
they don't have an issue with kids, do they?
Well,
no. They can't have kids because they don't never have sex.
For Claire, she talked to Pastor Cal, and Ryan talked to Dr. Pepper. And one of the things Dr. Pepper jumped right into is, how do you think she feel about your sex life, having sex? And he was like, oh, everything's great. We're wonderful. It's amazing. Blah, blah, blah. And Dr. Pepper was like, well, did you ask her? He was like, oh, I guess I should do that. What? And the bananas. He totally has built up this fantasy world that him and her are perfect. Because he was even saying this a couple of episodes ago about he was giving the other guys advice because he thinks he got this. And yet, she's ready to cut his thing off and run away with it. I don't even think she care about him right there. She just wants the tool. Like, let's go.
Well, didn't somebody say last week why she just buy some toys?
Yeah, somebody did say that.
No, when she was talking to the girls. So
Dr. Pepper asked, well, what about the religion issue? And he didn't seem... I think he believes that he could just convince Claire to do what he wants Claire to do. Because he didn't seem too worried about that. Yeah. Remember? He just seemed like, well, yeah, I know she got some history. We'll work through it. He didn't seem concerned about it at all.
It's going to flip on him. I'm telling you, it'll flip. He'll get to the point where she ain't going to want to do it now. And then he going to be ready to do it. She ain't going to never want to do it. So, and Claire, the thing with this couple is they are very attracted to each other. And, you know, making some sort of bedroom magic, even though it's not intercourse. So he's at peace and harmony, but she is not. So when she was talking to Pastor Cal, she tried to keep it classy and not bring up the sex thing. But of course, the producers told the counselors what's happening. So when Pastor Cal was asking her, you could tell she was fighting back everything she needed to say. You guys, if you didn't watch it, go find it and watch it. I mean, she was fighting it back. She tried to keep it classy. She was like, oh, everything's great. I couldn't have a more better partner, blah, 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 blah. And I was telling the hubby, I said, from where I stood, I don't think that was all her. I feel like Ryan kind of coached her before they went into those meetings that, you know, I'm going to need you to dial it back. Because he's mentioned a couple of times, I think since their honeymoon, that she needs to watch what she say out her mouth. You know, so y'all watch it, judge for yourself. But that's what I got from it. But Pastor Cal did bring up the sex thing, and she told them that they should have a conversation about it. Yeah. So when they got back straightforward, just straight to the point.
Yeah. So when they got back to the house, they both doing the whoop-de-woo, we so wonderful, great thing. And when it was brought up, you know, she was clear. She said it to Pastor Cal, actually. She said, the more I bring it up, the further away it's going to be that we have sex. And she said that to him, and he said, yeah, you're right. So, you know, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm confused. I had Ryan's back this whole season until episode 13, because what is that? Are you using it as some kind of control over her? Are you a virgin, or do you have some issues down there? Because she had said a couple of episodes, I never even seen my husband with his shirt off. So,
I already know what's gonna happen with them. They go say yes.
They're gonna say yes on decision day.
They're gonna be the second couple to say yes. But if it continues like this with the cameras off, she probably is gonna go out and intentionally cheat to break up the relationship.
I don't even know if it's intentionally cheat. I'm starting to think that there's something wrong with him down there. Like, cause, you know, like you've been saying the whole time, y'all married, y'all husband and wife. Why? So what's the problem?
Yeah, so there ain't no excuse of having sex. You married.
And it's weird that they would pair him with somebody who's kind of obsessed with sex. So either he doesn't know how to do it, something's wrong. Like, it's something more going on there than just the religious thing. I thought it was just that at first.
His stance would be a lot stronger if he said, "Okay, I'm waiting. I don't know you. Even though you're married, but he's still doing other sexual acts. Right. If you don't take that stance, then you don't need to be getting nothing
at all.
Yeah, right, y'all both need to go dry.
Yes.
That would make his stance more solid. So, okay, we really don't know each other but for a month, so maybe if we hit the 3-month mark, then we can get it. But him, receiving and not giving, that just throw his stance out.
Well, the reason why I said too that something might be wrong downstairs is because she made a comment that he shared with her that he's been in other relationships and haven't had sex for 1 to 2 years at a time. Now I don't know. I've never heard
months to a year. At a time.
Months to a year at a time. I don't know if I believe all of that. Something ain't right, y'all. We gonna find out though, because she the type of chick that when you tick her off, the whole world is going to know. So after the reunion, we will find out the truth about you, Ryan.
I think this show gonna be a lot juicier after Decision Day. I think they're gonna have 2 or 3 shows after Decision Day. It's gonna be a lot more juicier than the decision.
Ryan, we're gonna find out about the truth about you, brother. Yeah, something wrong with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, our last couple, Jacob and Haley. And I have to tell you, this couple has moved up and down the board in my heart. I have to be honest, because I don't know. I always like Jacob. Haley is the one I want to smack. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I might be wrong. And the reason being is, Jacob, to me, has been who he said he was. He's a geeky, nerdy type guy who's just trying to get married and has some kids. He old now. He ain't trying to be alone forever. I feel like that was a simple story.
But he even said it that all his friends, he stopped going out with his friends because they all they had kids and got married. And
well, you skipped the part. You got to add the other part into it. That he made that comment because after they met with Pastor Cal, I didn't write down. Oh, Jacob met with Pastor Cal. Yeah. And Haley met with Dr. Pepper. This couple season, their issues was, of course, communication, attraction. Was it communication and attraction with him in too? Yeah. He admits that he hasn't always communicated well with Haley. Like, he's been blunt and straightforward, but I guess he missed out on any sensitivity he could have given towards her in the situations. For her, it's been the attraction thing. And even after they have their conversation, they still never brought up why she pulled back after they had sex, honestly. He didn't actually ask her that when they got back. I think that for him, he's kind of partially checked out. I think he checked out halfway in. Whenever they went to the wine tasting, I think it was the anniversary. Yeah. He was checked out there. he would love for it to work, but I think he just feels like she's not gonna let it work because he keeps saying, she won't let me, like try to get to know her, try to do anything with her.
Too many walls, as they say.
She got too many walls.
Too many walls up.
So, physical attraction. So Pastor Cal, like, well, are you attracted to her? And he didn't say absolutely, but he was pretty clear that he's attracted to her.
Yeah.
And what made her pull back? I brought that up, but he didn't talk to her about that when they got home. I guess he said he didn't want to beat a dead horse, possibly, because that's been a big part of their argument.
Dead neck.
His thing he shared with Pastor Cal is he would have loved to wanted to know what her expectations of a husband was.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't, they've been so busy bickering back and forth just about the little things. He doesn't even know what she wants from him. Like, what's she looking for? Why did she get married? Which was a good conversation to bring up, but I don't feel like it made it back to his and her personal conversation.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to stay with Haley because Pastor Cal was like, just be straight up with it. He said, yeah, he would love to.
Now that's gonna be tricky though.
Yeah, those two, yeah.
At decision, I see him saying yeah, and her saying no. That's how I see it.
No.
I see one of them saying no. I don't see both of them saying yeah.
I don't know.
But it can flip either way.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Either she can say yeah just cause she like one of them volleyball sports.
Well, she just said it. She said that.
So
that came out in her.
So she'll say yes just so she don't look like a failure. But he might say, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
He might say, I'm done.
I don't know. Like, the reason why I said this is my second favorite couple, you guys, because honestly, secretly, I think they could make it.
So
I know that sounds crazy, but the reason why is because sometimes I do see how she look at him. Like, she told this whole big thing about how she was just unattracted to him.
Yeah.
She's not unattracted to him. She's unattracted to his behaviors. That's different. That's just like you're attracted to somebody, but a man being attracted to a woman who belches in public all the time. Like, she could be fly and fine, but when you belch, that's embarrassing me in front of my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what her issue is. He fine, he good to look at, he cool, but if she took him out in front of her friends who she's very fond of,
yeah. But
her issue is going to be, are you going to start talking about your 80s stuff and those corny jokes? I think it's more of what she's worried about.
No, but her other main issue with him, as she kept bringing up, is that he don't have no ambition. Because she kept harping on the fact that, what have you done in the last 10 years?
Oh, yeah, and that's what...
You can't even tell me nothing that you've done. And she said, well, last 10 years, I done been to 10 countries, 15 countries. Blah, blah, blah. So he can't really say what he's done. So she thought he doesn't have any ambition.
Yeah, she
like, well, if you ain't done nothing in the last 10 years, I ain't gonna,
And that's what we started our conversation when he was saying, well, because she said, you never answered me. That was such a big deal for her. You never answered me. And he explained the last 10 years of his life was dull because his friends got married and started having babies. And so the people he was out partying with there was no longer them to party with. Yes, and even his friends and family said it in the beginning. He's a very loyal person. And she said that herself because the one cool thing about Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper was they was like, tell us something good. They started off with that. Tell us something good about your relationship.
Good.
And then they went into, now tell us what your issues are. So she acknowledges that he's loyal. She knows that. And, one of the things he said is he could tell why they were matched. And he doesn't have a problem with making the changes that she wants to make. Like her saying, let's get up and go travel. He probably would do that with her. He doesn't have that problem. He just doesn't have anybody to do that with right now. This is all he knows. So the other part is I love, because Haley has in her head that she's done so much for Jacob and Jacob doesn't return nor listen to her. Dr. Pepper pointed out, she said, well, honestly, I can see all the changes he made for you. What have you done to change?
Yeah.
And that's the question she needed somebody to ask her. Because after that, you kind of seen a different light bulb come on for her. And then they played back in that session all the things she did that he would change and how she hasn't changed anything.
But then she said the other key thing. She said, nobody's just going to drop into your world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Dr. Pepper said, yeah, we understand now what you were looking for. Somebody to just drop into you. Yes. I love it.
She didn't want to change nothing about what she got. She wants somebody to get into her world.
Well, y'all know what happened to the couple last year where that was the issue. They broke up. He rolled out in the middle of the thing and left her by herself with her cats. Okay?
Yeah.
And then, and Dr. Pepper actually told her to basically manage her expectations of what she wanted. And of course, Haley starts crying. Now, that's my only issue with this girl, right? Because her crying is not real. She's using it as a lady defense mechanism to back them off when she don't want to talk about something when she feel like they're about to correct her.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, I got a psychology degree. Don't make me use it on you, Haley. Get yourself together, you fake crier. I don't know who taught you that, but get yourself together. Anyway, that's what I wrote down here. Haley is full of crap with those tears. I was mad about seeing that again. So Jacob and Haley follow-up conversation. Jacob came back very humbled. Actually leaving out, he said, I can't wait to meet with Pastor Cal. Maybe he could give me some insights, some pointers. I really need it. He feels like this is his last attempt to find love. Okay? And that's why I say they possibly can work. Because if Haley gets in her mind that this can work, he will stay there while she do whatever it is she need to do to make their relationship work. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think he's, I don't know why his friends ain't introducing him to women or whatever, but he feels like this is his last attempt. I think he thinks if this doesn't work out, he's done. Like, he's just gonna stay home and keep making beaches and buy more dogs, I guess. I don't know. So Haley shares with him, he asked her, what was her issue? Why she always doing this Haley time thing, And she explained she was in an abusive relationship or controlling relationship for 5 years, is her words. And so she just decided that nobody else was going to do that to her anymore. And he brought up a good point that are you still letting him control you by bringing that into our relationship? I love Jacob. I'm sorry, guys. I love him. Like, he's, I get he's a little edgy and a little aggressive, but he's keeping it real. Like, you can't twist his words. You can't bend them. You can't say, well, he really said. No, he said what he said, and that's that. And she asked Jacob, do you really think I'm the one for you? Which I thought was a good question, especially after everything they've been through. And he said, yes, I think we could still work if you wanted to. And this is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, I believe they could still work, because she actually looked at him and smiled. Sometimes
that's
people...
another 6 month couple. They may say yeah at the decision day, but it's 6 months.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think just like the other second favorite couple last year that everybody was so mad at her. The one you told, you was like, he should have been left her. She was acting stank. She wouldn't sleep with him. She didn't want him to touch her.
Oh, Miles.
Miles and Karen. Miles and Karen. Yes. So
they probably still ain't slept together.
I can't say that. Miles is smiling. I don't know what you talking about.
Yeah,
anyway,
he doing the right thing.
This couple can be a Miles and Karen for me, because the cameras being on make people respond a certain way. Haley truly confessed that she's a very competitive person. She's worried about the image. Jacob doesn't care about none of that. So if the cameras go off and Haley starts acting like a normal person instead of a college prep kid, they will work.
I see.
Wait a minute. Final prediction, ladies and gentlemen. What you got, baby?
I see 2, possibly 3 couples
staying together,
saying yes at decision day. But my prediction is 6 months after prediction day, none of the couples are going to be together. None.
I don't believe that.
None of them.
Now, don't get me wrong. These couples, they hung out, but they are not as close as the couples were last year. I think that makes a difference. And I think that's why the show changed the way they do things. They put the couples in the same apartment complex and let them blend together. And I think their support, the women on this show are very super supportive of each other. So, and the men, they're really cool, but they're not really fond of each other. Like Jacob is off to himself. Eric and Ryan kind of hangs together a little bit, and of course everybody's glad Chris is out the picture. So I don't know if I can really give a good prediction. I think it's going to be a haymaker at the end with Jacob and Haley. I do think that if Virginia can get in her head that cut back on drinking and have a baby, her and Eric will stay together. Brianna and Vincent, I'm still rooting for them, but Vincent's attitude, Brianna's praying real nice about his attitude right now, but everybody already admits she's a firecracker. So right now, she's letting him take the reins. I think that can be an issue for them later on down the line.
All right, you guys. We're going to wrap this up.
This is my favorite show. You guys pray for them. We got to get 3 out of the 5 to work. 3 out of the 5.
0 out of 0.
He's just a hater. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending time with us, talking with us. Don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. That way. And don't forget to give us some thumbs up and share us out.
We're going to see you guys on the next one.
Peace.